Welcome to the HawksZone, guys. We got a big matchup against the Rams coming up, and we're 4-4 in the division. The Rams are 4-4, coming off a big win against Minnesota, getting healthy, looking good. We're coming off a bad loss against the Bills at home, so we're coming on here. We got our keys to the game, man. Giving you 5 keys that we think that the Hawks need to do this Sunday to pull off a win. So, Bryce, why don't you give me your first key?
My first key for a Seahawk victory this Sunday, we have to be able to control the ground game on both sides, running and stopping the Rams run game. We got to be able to hold them to under 100 yards. That'll limit Stafford's explosive because he loves coming off that play action and hitting those over routes to Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. And on the flip side, we got to get that run game going to help Geno, help him get some play action going. So that for me is the number one key. We've got to control the run game on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, 100%. That's been a huge issue for us, man. I think, statistically, we're 29th against the run. And, man, last game, only putting up 12 yards with Ken. So that's got to be a lot better, man. My key is getting JSN rolling. DK Metcalf is going to be out again. And you know what? I don't blame the Hawks. You keep them out. They got a bye coming up. Don't turn something small into something possibly big, man. So that knee just ain't right 100%. He gets another week off with a bye. Hopefully ready to go in Santa Clara against the Niners. But yeah, my key is big time, man. Got to get this dude rolling. None of this, we need to stretch it with him. I mean, if there's an issue with him creating separation, whatever, we got to treat him like he's got to be the number one guy. Get him involved. If it fails, it fails. But we got to take more shots with him, and Grubb has to open him up. So in addition to your key there with Ken, I think JSN's got to be a big time X factor in this game.
No, I think that's a fair point. So my third key to this game for the Seahawks, they've got to find a way to stop Puka Nacua. If one, he's questionable, so he may not play. But if he's on that field, you've got to Reek Woolen has to step back up this week and turn back into what he was the first bit of the season before his injury and try and shut down Puka Nacua, because right now that is Stafford's go-to guy. Kupp's still there and Kupp's still making plays here and there, but Puka Nacua is Stafford's new go-to guy. You have to limit his impact in the game, especially on third down.
Yeah, Puka, man. I mean, coming off the injury, he's got the flow going too now. I mean, he's a nice player that the Rams got, man, out of that draft. So and he's turning out to be he is legit. You gotta watch him now. So yeah, I got that one, man. I mean, a big one here, and I know this sometimes can be the obvious, but we got to win the turnover battle. We've had problems with that all year long, and you saw what happened when we did do it. We did do it in Atlanta, and it started coming in bunches. And the big one by Mafe, he gets in there, is a strip sack, and then the scoop and score by Hall. That's what you want to see. And you talk about, we need to pressure Stafford, take the ball away, make him make a mistake. If it's just too clean of a pocket for him, and we can't create any turnovers, I think it's going to be an issue. I think that's going to be, to me, that's probably my number one key. Offensively, JSN is just, it's got to happen. But I think winning that turnover battle, and then what that also does is just get the 12s hyped up again, because I think you're going into that stadium and it's going to be a little there's going to be a lot of unsure what this team's going to bring, how they're going to bring it. So nothing better than taking the ball away to get that crowd fired up.
Yeah, no, I think the other thing, my fourth key for this game, Ryan, or fifth key, I should say, for this game, Ryan, is going to be us getting pressure on Stafford. The Bills game last week, we had our lowest pressure rate of the season at 21%, no sacks. We have to be better that way. That D-line is healthy now, or as healthy as it currently is without having Nwosu back. Byron Murphy had his first rough outing as a rookie. Sean McVay, with how much he wanted Murphy, is going to definitely have things schemed up to try and limit him. And other guys are going to have to step up. We need to see Derek Hall and Boy Mafe become factors again like they were in Atlanta. Leonard Williams as well. This is one of the healthier sides of our defense that we've seen all year going into this game. We're getting pretty much everybody back. Trey Brown's supposed to be back. Um, so we really need to have our defense come back alive, start being able to create that pressure with, the simulated blitzes that, and pressures that McDonald likes to use. Like there really needs to be some pressure on Stafford, because if you let Stafford sit back there, as we know and we've seen it since we haven't really beat him since he's played, it makes it hard to stop that team.
It's funny. We were doing our post game shows, and we started doing a new segment, game balls, and we didn't really do it on Sunday against the Bills. We didn't give out a game ball, and I don't think it was any surprise. But what I want to do here, because it's a little pregame. Give me a guy that you want to see that needs a game ball on both sides of the ball, and say, okay, if this guy gets a game ball, it's a little different, but then there's good chance that we could be successful.
Okay, I'm going to go offense. I'm going to say Anthony Bradford. Now that they've come out and said
Nice.
he's clearly won this competition at right guard, there's no rotation this week. It's his gig. They're going to roll with AB, as Mike McDonald said. Anthony Bradford needs to have a big game. He needs to move Brandon Fisk. He needs to, move this D line on the Rams and create some running lanes and help keep Geno clean. That interior of that, I'll say actually in total, that interior of the Seahawks O line, Williams, Tomlinson, and Bradford, they need to have a big game.
Nice.
On defense, I need to see the linebackers play better. Dotson and Ernest Jones, like I know it was Ernest Jones' first game, but they need to fit the run better. They need to be better in that, regard. Like we can't have it where we're giving up 14 rushing first downs or 11 rushing first downs in a game. Like we need to be better in that regard. So yeah, we'll have to, those are my two that I'm giving out.
My game ball defense, Spoon. If he gets a game ball, that means he's ripping around. He's probably getting takeaway. He's just become a dynamic Spoon that we saw last year, because he hasn't been that yet. So maybe they use him a little differently. Who knows? But that's what I want to see, a game ball. And then if Ken Walker gets a game ball, that means that he's put up some big time yards, because like when Ken goes, this O goes, and it opens up everything. And just, yeah, and you saw what happens when we had 12 rushing yards from Ken, equated for pretty much 3 points. We got a late one, but and we're gonna need that more again because DK is out. So like I said, those two things we kind of tied all in together, with JSN having a game which he needs to have, and Grubb has to open him up. And Ken, if that happens, then I think we could put up some points, man. So real quick, give me a prediction.
For my prediction for this game, I think it's close. I don't think it's a blowout, but I don't think it's high scoring. I think this is going to be a game that's truly going to come down to a few plays, kind of like the Bills game was. It was a few plays early on that kind of sunk Seattle. But I think it's going to come down to a few plays in the situation where Seattle, like I said earlier in the first key, they have to own the run game. And if they do, I've got Seattle winning 2017. I think it's close. I think it may come down to a late field goal from Jason Myers to win this game and get Seattle going back in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a close game too. Like I said, all those things got to work. I want to see it first. Like it's tough, but I agree it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be high scoring. I think I'm giving the edge to the Rams, and I really hope I'm wrong. But I just think I don't know if it's the home thing, but I don't know if these guys feel like they're putting extra pressure on themselves, because they put on some 3 bad showings now at home. So until they put like a super clean game together at home, I'm gonna have to say, and the fact that the Rams have come off an impressive win as well. They've had a mini bye. They've had that 10-dayer, and we saw what we did with the 10-dayer. It's big time, and I think McVay's just he's got a plan. So I think we'll play better, but I'm giving it to the Rams. I got them 28-21. So I really hope I'm wrong, man. I hope we come back on here and this say, hey man, you were right, and that was a good prediction. So we'll see, guys. But yeah, you know what? Toss in the comments. Get the comments down here. What guys, throw out a prediction for us? What are you guys thinking for Sunday? It's one of those things where we're sort of feeling out what this team's all about still, because everything's still new with the team. Like usually you kind of know early, but maybe after 6 might take a little longer with this squad. That's cool. So guys, toss in the comments what you guys think, what you feel. At the same time, anybody that hasn't done it, go hit the subscribe button for us and share the vids. And we appreciate everyone that's been supporting the channel. So that's it. That's a quick little preview for you guys. Yeah, hey, let's win and let's make sure I'm wrong. So go Hawks.
And guys, don't forget, live after this Rams game, we'll have our post-game show. Jump into that comment section, bring your questions and everything to that game, and yeah, it should be a lot of fun to have, hopefully, in a good conversation afterwards, like Ryan's saying. Hopefully the Hawks bring us home a W on Sunday, so go Hawks.
Go Hawks.